Laws of Hong Kong, Chapter 187 is an ordinance devoted to the protection of endangered animals and plants. Schedule 1 and Schedule 3 of the ordinance, respectively, list animals and plants classified as endangered species. Schedule 6 lists animals and plants classified as highly endangered species. According to the definition of the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, an endangered species is an animal or plant species that is facing a very high risk of extinction in the wild in the near future. Visit the Dinosaur Discovery Trail at Ocean Park and you can get some idea of what extinction means. There you will see a number of monsters known collectively as dinosaurs. Their body parts appear to move like those of most animals, but they are by no means alive. They are machine-driven models designed from pictures like these. And these images were prepared by paleontologists from studying the fossils of dinosaurs. These dinosaur fossils were formed between 65 million and 235 million years ago. But in the modern world, there are no longer any dinosaurs. In other words, dinosaurs are extinct creatures. The World Conservation Union, abbreviated as IUCN, has published a series of red lists of threatened animals and plants since 1966. The latest edition is the 2000 Red List of Endangered Species. According to the Red List, 763 animal and plant species have been declared extinct in the last 500 years. Currently, 50 species of animals and plants have been declared extinct in the wild and are now represented only by small numbers of individuals kept in captivity. Meanwhile, 11,039 species of animals and plants are threatened. The Red List classifies threatened species under 3 categories, namely critically endangered, endangered and vulnerable. 1,938 species of animals and plants have been listed as critically endangered. 2,616 species of animals and plants have been listed as endangered. Following the practice of the IUCN, many countries now publish their own national lists of endangered animals and plants. They also introduced laws to protect endangered species. The Chinese government has published lists of state-protected wild animals and plants. It categorizes them into 2 classes. Class 2 species are equivalent to IUCN's endangered species, and Class 1 species are equivalent to IUCN's critically endangered species. In 1973, delegates of many countries met in Washington and signed the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, abbreviated as CITES. Under CITES, all participating countries promise to cooperate in regulating international trade in endangered animal and plant species. Under the Animals and Plants Protection of Endangered Species Ordinance of Hong Kong, the so-called highly endangered species are equivalent to those designated by the IUCN Red List as critically endangered species. According to the IUCN Red List definition, critically endangered species are highly susceptible to extinction in the near future. The giant panda is the most critically endangered animal species. Its body is fat and round. Its paws have hairless pads, like those of the cat. At present, about 1,000 giant pandas live in the wild or in captivity. The Chinese government has classified the giant panda as a Class 1 state-protected animal species. The young Chinese white dolphin is black. As it grows, the body of the male turns pinkish white, mottled with darker spots. The adult female is pink. In Hong Kong, Chinese white dolphins are found mainly in the waters off the western shore of Tuen Mun and to the north of Lantau Island. They are particularly abundant near the small islands known as the Brothers, Sha Chao and Lung Ku Chao. Detailed research in the last few years reveals that Hong Kong waters contain 85 to 163 Chinese white dolphins. It is estimated that there may be about 1,000 of these dolphins in the Pearl River estuary, of which those in the Hong Kong waters are just a small portion. On the other hand, the lack of adequate research data on the Chinese white dolphin in other areas has led the IUCN to classify this species under the data deficient category in its red list. The Chinese government, however, has classified the Chinese white dolphin as a Class 1 state-protected animal species. In Hong Kong, the green turtle is listed as a highly endangered species. The legs of the turtle are shaped like the oars of a rowing boat and are well adapted for swimming. On the front of each foreleg is a hook that enables the turtle to tear the body of its prey when feeding. In Hong Kong, green turtles have frequently been seen in the sea around Llama Island, off the southeastern shores of Hong Kong Island, and in various places in the Sai Kung waters. In July and August, female green turtles swim from the remote ocean to the shallow waters close to shore. They then crawl up the beach, lay eggs, and return to sea. A green turtle may lay over 100 eggs at a time. The baby turtles are able to crawl down the beach and swim to the open sea as soon as they hatch. The giant salamander is the world's largest tailed amphibian. Its head is flat and rounded. The mouth is exceptionally large and the eyes very small. The two nostrils are located on the upper lip. There are prominent skin folds on the lateral surfaces of the neck. The sound it makes is often mistaken for a baby's cry. The giant salamander is unique to China. It has been classified as a Class 2 state-protected animal species by the Chinese government and a highly endangered species under the laws of Hong Kong. This fish is named the Asiatic bony tongue. There are 3 varieties. This is a silver dragonfish. This is a golden dragonfish. And this is a red dragonfish. The Asiatic bony tongue is a carnivorous freshwater fish endemic to Malaysia and Indonesia. Under the Animals and Plants Protection of Endangered Species Ordinance of Hong Kong, Anyone owning an Asiatic bony tonguefish must acquire a license from the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department. The Asiatic bony tongue can easily be identified by its caudal fin, dorsal fin and anal fin, which are tall but short at the base. Other examples of highly endangered species are the red panda, the dugong, the spotted linsang, according to the IUCN Red List definition, endangered species are susceptible to extinction in the near future. These are black-faced spoonbills. They are so called because the front surface of the head and the beak are shiny black, and the beak looks like a spoon. The feathers are white. In the breeding season, the feathers on the top of the head and the chest of the adult bird become yellow. The black-faced spoonbill's breeding grounds lie in Liaoning Province, China, and on the Korean peninsula. In the winter, black-faced spoonbills migrate south along China's eastern coast. About half of the population may winter in Taiwan. The rest head further south. About half of those arrive in Hong Kong in November, where they winter at Mai Po marshes and in a deep bay. The others fly on to Vietnam. The black-faced spoonbills that stay in Hong Kong begin to migrate north the following March. Most will have left by mid-May. The Animals and Plants Protection of Endangered Species Ordinance of Hong Kong does not list the black-faced spoonbill as either a highly endangered species or an endangered species. However, the Chinese government has listed it as a Class 2 state-protected animal species. The 1996 IUCN Red List classified it as a critically endangered species. The 2000 IUCN Red List reclassified the bird as an endangered species. This is a birdwing butterfly. It is Hong Kong's largest native butterfly. Its caterpillar feeds solely on the leaves of the Indian birthwort. As the Indian birthwort is rather rare in Hong Kong, the birdwing butterfly is classified as an endangered animal species under the Animals and Plants Protection of Endangered Species Ordinance. These pitcher plants belong to a local species listed as endangered in the Animals and Plants Protection of Endangered Species Ordinance. The pitcher plant lives in valley marshes. Its leaves transform into long, fly-catching pitchers that secrete substances that attract insects, so they will crawl in and become trapped in the liquid inside. The body of the insects is then digested and absorbed to nourish the plant. Other examples of endangered species are the pygmy loris, the Bengal monitor, Why do animal and plant species face the threat of extinction? It is the cumulative consequence of the defects in the organisms themselves and the damage done by mankind. We can divide the causes into 5 major factors. The first factor is physiological defects within the organisms. For example, giant pandas in captivity have great difficulty in mating. Moreover, the female giant panda usually gives birth to a single baby. As a result, the giant panda's birth rate is exceptionally low. In the case of orchids, the seeds are as small as dust particles. The embryo in the seed is in fact a small mass of several cells. Hence, the embryo is underdeveloped. Infection by a particular kind of fungus in the soil is needed to trigger the orchid embryo into developing further into a bud. Not only that, the tester of the orchid seed consists of just a single layer of cells, which is not strong enough to protect the embryo inside. As a result, there is very little chance of an orchid seed germinating and developing into an adult plant. The second factor is ecological defects of the organisms. In Hong Kong, the caterpillars of birdwing butterflies and red Helen butterflies feed solely on the leaves of Indian birthworts. If Indian birthworts cannot survive natural disasters or human destruction, then both species of butterfly are doomed. The third factor is mankind's destruction of the organism's natural habitats. People in various countries destroy forests. Deforestation depletes the shelter of apes, orangutans and forest birds. The fourth factor is environmental pollution. The waste gases emitted from cars and factories are lethal to birds. Wastewater from urban areas, factories and farmland drain into rivers and the sea, resulting in mass death of aquatic organisms. The fifth factor is overexploitation of wildlife. Due to a fad for eating wildlife cuisine in Hong Kong and nearby mainland cities, numerous wild animals have been captured and brought to restaurants to be treated as foodstuff. Some animals and plants are killed and processed to produce expensive materials for traditional medicine. On the other hand, people all over the world enjoy cultivating flowers and breeding pets. People in developed countries are often eager to buy exotic animals as pets, and exotic snakes, turtles and lizards from remote tropical forests become victims. Many of them die on the way to the cities. Some celebrities and millionaires like to dress in tiger skin or leopard skin. Some people like handbags made of crocodile skin and ornaments made of turtle shell. Or they may decorate their rooms with ivory handicrafts and animal specimens. In short, numerous wild animals and plants have been threatened with extinction due to our ignorant, greedy and cruel behaviour. Human beings are not entitled to exploit or kill wild animals and plants. Humans must honour the right of animal and plant species to survive.